Hi everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Ace. First of all, thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I'm not sure what brought you here today, but I believe there's a reason we crossed paths. So, stick around until the end, I think you'll enjoy it. So, let me ask you this. Are you interested in Japan? These days, when I walk around the city, I see so many more international visitors than before the pandemic, and as a Japanese person, that honestly makes me really happy. It feels like more and more people are getting curious about Japan. Maybe you're one of them, scrolling through social media and picking up bits of information here and there. What I'll be doing here on this channel is introducing books written by Japanese authors. I know a lot of people get their information about Japan from the media or social media, but honestly, I feel like it's pretty rare to explore Japan through books. And that's exactly what I want to share with you. The truth is, only a tiny fraction of Japanese books ever get translated. In the US, it's said to be around just 0.2% of all annual publications. Pretty shocking, right? But here's the thing. Japanese books are packed with insights and knowledge that can genuinely help us live better lives. To go through life without ever discovering that feels like such a waste. So from now on, I'll be summarizing and sharing key takeaways from Japanese books on your behalf. My hope is that by doing this, I can help make your life a little more insightful, a little more meaningful, and maybe even a little more exciting. So let's dive in together. Through these Japanese books, we can explore the way people in Japan think and pick up ideas that might be really useful for our own lives moving forward. Alright, so the very first book I'd like to share with you today is this one. Living as a Human Being. What's Truly Important in Life, written by Kazuo Inamori. Kazuo Inamori is a very well-known Japanese entrepreneur. He founded Kyocera and grew it into a global company through its groundbreaking ceramic technology. He also co-founded KDDI, one of Japan's major telecom companies, and even led the turnaround of Japan Airlines. Because of these achievements, he's often called a legendary CEO, and sometimes even a philosopher in business. Through this book, there are 3 key ideas I'd really like to share with you. First, the importance of thinking from fundamental principles. Second, living with a spirit of altruism, in other words, putting others first. And third, what Inamori calls the invisible hand. So, what do these actually mean? Let's break them down one by one in a simple and easy to understand way. First up is thinking from fundamental principles. Now, let me ask you something. Don't we all want to be wealthy? When we think of people who've achieved financial success, don't we often imagine them as clever negotiators, always trying to tilt things in their favor? To be honest, that was exactly how I felt about wealthy people, until I read this book. But according to Inamori, that's not the way to live, or to run a business. When you're unsure of what decision to make, the most important thing is to ask yourself, what is the right thing to do as a human being? That should be your standard. Of course, there are always exceptions, but wealthy people don't become successful just by pushing for their own gain. Instead, they negotiate based on what's right, not only for themselves, but for the other person too. And that's exactly why they end up truly wealthy. In 2000, Inamori founded KDDI, which was created through the merger of 3 different companies. At that time, he had to decide whether it should be an absorption-type merger or an equal merger. On the surface, an equal merger might seem like the peaceful choice, since no company would appear to lose face. But the downside was that the 3 firms could easily keep fighting for control indefinitely. So Inamori chose an absorption-type merger. Why? Because he believed that for the new company to run smoothly, the leadership should go to the firm with the strongest performance and the most solid foundation. And the thinking behind that decision was exactly this idea of starting from fundamental principles. What he really asked himself was, what should be given the highest priority here? And the answer wasn't the pride or private interests of the companies involved. It was about serving society and people, the consumers. Inamori believed that the true purpose of management is to provide excellent products and services to customers. That, he said, is what business should be all about, and what we should consider a fundamental principle. In the book, Inamori also says something really powerful. What matters is not what you know, but what you can actually do. He considered this another essential fundamental principle. At that time, Mr. Inamori once attended a seminar to hear a lecture by Soichiro Honda, the founder of Honda Motor Co. There, Mr. Honda said, "Don't waste your time being here. Go back to your company and get to work right now." In the end, he even snapped, who would be foolish enough to pay such an outrageously high participation fee to attend this? For the participants, it must have been shocking. Why? We came all the way to attend this seminar. But Mr. Inamori said he found it very convincing. He realized that without working hard in the field and sweating it out himself, there was no way he could truly manage a company. That makes sense, right? Just because you know how to do the crawl doesn't mean you can actually swim it. You have to get into the water and move your body. Sometimes you might even feel like you're drowning, but by going through those experiences again and again, you'll eventually be able to swim the crawl. What Inamori is telling us is that real value lies in the first-hand experiences you gain by throwing yourself into the work. At the end of this story, Inamori also emphasizes that even international conflicts and tensions between nations should be approached with fundamental principles. No matter what kind of history or reasons there may be, if you have caused trouble to others, you should apologize. This is a universal form of doing what is right as a human being. Don't we also step in when our kids fight and say things like, "If you hit someone, apologize," or, "If you say something that hurts someone, say sorry"? Of course, some might argue that personal feelings and national politics should be considered separately. But Inamori insists that fundamental human principles, what's right as a human being, transcend countries, eras, and apply to all of humanity. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. So, that's all for today's video. In the next part, I'll share the remaining 2 key points. After explaining these ideas, I realized that I need to change my own attitude toward work starting tomorrow. Lately, I've been thinking only about how to make money. But in reality, I can do my job thanks to the people around me. With that principle in mind, I want to go to work tomorrow with a fresh mindset. From now on, I'll keep introducing more inspiring books written by Japanese authors. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next part of this video series. And until then, keep going. And enjoy your journey.